right, this is Dave Warner with Small Town Life, and today I've got Michele Hummel.
Hi, Dave.
Yeah. And usually we're on camera, but we're just doing this one-on-one today, right?
That's great. I'd prefer no camera today, I'll be honest.
It's a bad hair day.
I'm trying to grow it out, you know.
Well, that would be okay. Who cares? But I thought it was the rain and everything.
Well, that's where we'll
That's
say.
where we'll say. All
yeah.
right. But we're going to talk about Herkimer next, right?
Yes.
All right. So for those people who don't know anything about Next, tell me just quickly like how it came about
Sure.
and what it is and what it's supposed to do.
Okay, so I don't know, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, there was an initiative in the village of Herkimer to prepare residents for the upcoming DRI. They wanted to kind of gain momentum and get everyone on the same page. Chris Cochran came to town, Cochran Advisors, and they actually did very well. They got everyone on board, and people were really excited about it. Not only that, you could see that they were ready to push up their sleeves and do some good collectively for the village. But as things happen, it sort of fell by the wayside. The village was not prepared at that time to move forward with the DRI process. But the concept was so good that you really couldn't ignore it.
Chris can get a room all fired up.
He can.
You know, you hate to let that wave, right?
He's got a gift for sure.
It's a gift to gab.
And I became involved because at the time I was the executive director of the Herkimer County Chamber of Commerce, and they used our boardroom for those meetings. So I began to sit in on them, and something came over me that just kind of, I don't know, it just took,
evil.
I meant really well with it, but I really felt like there was some momentum that it couldn't fall by the wayside. We had to do something with it. And I've seen firsthand, because of my experience with the Chamber of Commerce, how sometimes ideas come they come and there's not necessarily a person or an organization that's there to move it across the goal line. So I felt as though there should be a non-governmental entity that assists municipalities and nonprofits with realizing their dreams and finishing projects as well. So, with that and the group that we had come to know from the Herkimer Next, well, it was Launch Herkimer at the time.
Yeah.
A few of us got together and said, hey, let's do this. Let's make this a nonprofit and move it forward.
Okay, so you get your nonprofit status, and so what are you trying to do specifically? Take an example, maybe not of something you've done, but somebody that you haven't worked with who's thinking about it.
Okay. Well, so it's a number of different things. We oftentimes will move into a community, and perhaps the municipality, they know darn well that the baseball field needs to be taken care of, or the basketball court. However, they're so busy putting out fires of their own, and as you know, most municipalities are not independently wealthy. So
we know.
Even trying to apply for grants and things can become cumbersome. So we'll come in and we will take one of those projects off their plate and move it into fruition. And not only that, we'll be able to collect the money ourselves from the grant process, and we can even go ahead and write the check. So there doesn't need to be a village vote. Of course, the village is on board with what we're doing in advance. We would never do something without consent. But we really want to lessen their burden and get things done. So there's that. We also come in and help nonprofits. We try to teach them how to apply for grants. Last year, for example, we applied for over $100,000 in smaller grants from the Community Foundation on behalf of nonprofits that would have otherwise not applied. So throughout that process.
So you were the lead agency, got the $100,000 and then doled it out to those guys.
Well, we actually brought them through the whole process themselves.
Took them through.
So yes, in some cases we will be a fiscal sponsor. If you're a nonprofit that has, started out, maybe you're a community group and you've already filed but you're waiting on the paperwork, we will sometimes be your fiscal sponsor, but ideally you'll be a nonprofit, and we will show you how to get this done for yourself the next time.
Okay. So give me a couple of specific examples. I know you've done a couple of projects that have been successful for municipalities.
Yeah.
Got one or two you can talk about.
I do. Newport Free Library, the public library in Newport, for example, they are a very small building, and it's historical in nature. So before they can go adding on to it, they need to have somebody come in and take a look at it and tell them what they can and can't do. So we were able to apply for a grant on their behalf through the Community Foundation, and they were awarded $20,000 to be able to do that study.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's always helpful. Get those studies paid for.
Yes.
People don't understand how much those things cost.
Yeah, they can be really outrageous.
Yeah, I know. So, what else? Anything else?
Sure. We were able to secure $141,000 for some softball fields in Ilion, the Whalen softball fields. If you have a child or you grew up in this area, a female softball player of any sort, you've played on this field. It is also the only lit field.
Oh, nice.
In the area as well. And
nothing like getting lit in Ilion.
Oh, well,
sorry, I had to say that.
It's hysterical. And to be clear, I am and I was the worst athlete that you will ever
played on that field.
Yeah, I did try to play softball. I was just terrible.
What position?
Well, outfield generally.
Oh, wow. or left out.
Yeah, I moved around a little bit.
Around,
well, I did my part until I realized that this is just not for me. However, I see the value in what it provides for the
oh, that's great
area.
Any projects you're working on that you can talk about, like upcoming ones?
Sure. We are heavily involved in the village of Newport right now. Some really great things are transpiring there. We're going to be applying for a grant to fix their sewer situation in the downtown area, because that's a large part of economic development. You can't grow if you have no
put your poop anywhere.
Yeah, you gotta be able to do it. Department of Health has actually come into some of their businesses and said you can't serve food. So
because of the sewer,
because there's a limitation on what they have. Those properties are very narrow, and so there's not a whole lot of room for expansion of their septic tanks.
Right.
And an engineer report came in, LaBerge Group, and they put something together. So we're stacking several different grants on top of one another to try to help fund that.
Are you helping Dick and Dirks at all with their new?
As a matter of fact, yeah, we have worked with them, and we've been speaking with them. Heather Devitt is on our board, and she's also with MBED. She's amazing. So we are working together with them to try to do a Restore New York grant.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, because that's a beautiful building.
It is.
And then for them to be able to expand and do that would be great.
Yeah, they're kind of the flagship if you think about it. Yeah. That would be really the big thing that they need to have happen for that downtown.
You need to have one big thing like that, and that can spin off into a lot of other things, especially for Newport. That's a cute downtown.
Honestly, it could be adorable. And there are a couple of other good things happening, but I don't want to steal anybody's thunder by talking too much. But you'll be hearing.
You talking too much?
Well, I can't always control it, but you'll be hearing some excellent things in the next couple of weeks.
Love to hear that. Yeah, great. So you have a symposium coming up.
We do.
Right?
That's our nonprofit branch. So we have kind of two lines of business, if you will, the municipality side and then, of course, nonprofits. And we are holding the first annual nonprofit symposium. It's the Mohawk Valley Nonprofit Symposium. To back it up, last year we did a smaller Herkimer County Nonprofit Symposium. We did this because, hey, it's never been done before. And let's get everybody together. Collaboration is really the key to success here. There are so many nonprofits that work in silos, not because of anybody's fault. It's just everyone is so busy doing what they do that you often don't think about, hey, I wonder.
You're sitting in a nonprofit. Come on.
Yes, I am. Yeah. So, we want to make sure their board members know what they should be doing, and we want to make sure they have the tools they need to collaborate. We have some great breakout sessions that will be coming up. It's Wednesday, May 22nd. Registration begins at 8, and the program begins promptly at 9. At 9.
Because you're running it.
Well, you got to run a tight ship.
I know.
So we have breakout sessions that include governance and compliance, which we're trying to steer more engagement from board members. Grant writing. So there's going to be, it's a smaller grant writing session. We'll give you some of the basics, but this is a bit of a tickler because we're going to be doing a fall grant writing session that's more in depth. So stay tuned for information on that. It'll be coming up this fall. Nonprofit collaboration is obviously one of the key factors. Impact measurement, how do you measure the immeasurable? Because oftentimes when you're applying for a grant, they want to know how you're going to measure it. And it's hard to get your arms around. So we're going to be able to talk about that. And succession planning. And of course, Mohawk Valley Gives. So Mohawk Valley Gives is going to be in the tech room all day. They'll be available for every session. So if anybody wants to come in, sign up, get more information on it, then you can certainly do that there as well.
Okay. And when you define the Mohawk Valley area, because since it's not Herkimer County, we're not going up north, but we're going east and west.
We are.
How far do you think?
Oneida County and Otsego County as well.
Okay.
We're not going to turn anyone away. So anybody who wants to come and learn alongside us, please do. We also have an option to have the networking session at the end of the day. They'll be from 4 to 6, beer and wine and heavy hors d'oeuvres so that people can get together.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Heavy hors d'oeuvres. Well, I don't know exactly how many will be there, but but yeah, you can have a bite to eat.
Yeah. Oh no, that's good. I mean, because a lot of times when people define the Mohawk Valley, it's like it depends on who you talk to, where that is.
Yeah. Well, the 6 regions of REDC. So we're
that's easier to define.
Exactly. We are open to all collaboration.
Okay. So where do you see next going?
Yes. Yeah. So we are growing exponentially. We're doing very well. The concept, we knew that it was needed in Herkimer County, and it's very true because our phone is ringing and it's taking off. We are anticipating adding 1 or 2 employees in the very near future, and we're also already looking for a bigger space. So,
oh wow,
yeah,
that's a big
we've
deal.
We've outgrown our first office already. Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah,
I forgot where you were.
We're in Ilion, so we've got a smaller office. It's a smaller office, but right in Ilion, and it's just kind of a quaint little area, and it's actually built on the old Main Street, the original Main Street that came through Ilion, which is kind of neat because there's some history there.
History, all right. What else? What about the county kind of initiative? Do you want to get into county stuff? Kind of I mean, there seems to be more of a focus on what's happening in Herkimer County. Oh, did I just make that up?
We're here for you, Jim. If you're listening, Jim Bono. We stole your line.
Yeah, really. I just came up with that.
I'm seeing more synergy than I have in years past, and I'm constantly kind of pushing a little bit. And I say that with a grain of salt because I'm obviously someone who's outspoken, and I will say the things out loud that other people won't necessarily say. Because at the end of the day, next we are community advocates as well. So we hold public sessions, village meetings, things of that nature. And when people come and tell us what they want, we're going to go ahead and let the people know. We're going to let our elected officials know, good, bad, or ugly. And whether you want to be receptive to that or not, that's fine. But it doesn't change the reality of it. So I am seeing a shift.
How do you deal with? I mean, because the needs of Richfield Springs to Old Forge Inlet are so significantly different. How do we bridge that difference?
Right, and I'm not going to hide behind the fact that we are a smaller office. So right now, we're being very careful not to take on more than we can handle because we want to be able to service our clients well. So right now we're at a bit of capacity until we do
you get those extra people.
Exactly.
And stuff like
So,
that.
but communication I feel is key. And what works in one place doesn't always work in another, but many times it does. So there's really a nice opportunity to share information, and why reinvent the wheel if you find out something works. I'm learning leaps and I'm a lifelong learner. There's no question. Every single night I'm bringing home 40 or 50 pages of something that I need to read and comprehend, whether it be the intricacies of a grant, all the guidelines, the application. I'm singing to the choir.
You're singing to the choir. I don't want to read that stuff at night.
Yeah, there is
I'd
so much.
I'd rather read science fiction.
You got to do it. It's now just kind of become a way of life for me, and I'm very intrigued by it. I am.
Oh God, I'm not. I'm done. I've had enough. Anything else on Next Plate you want to talk about?
Just the fact that I feel like we're really doing well in the community. We've got a great board of directors. We are fortunate. We've been very fortunate. As you know, I'm not afraid to ask anybody for anything. So, we are fortunate in that we have Germany, Burke, and Brown, that, they're our accountant of record. And, we've worked with Bond, Schenek, and King as well. One thing I always like to express, because people want to understand how the mechanism works, right? So we are heavily audited. Every penny is accounted for. As a matter of fact, I'm in the process right now of filing with New York State to become a professional fundraiser as well. So, I just want to assure everybody that there is nothing under the hood here.
Yeah.
It's
and that you got to be bonded and everything else, so it's all good.
Insured, you name it, we've got it. And I've never worked I'll be honest with you. I've never worked anywhere where, everything was in such order. It's really nice when you start from scratch like that. And I'm very by the book. I want to make sure. I've always had this rule: somebody's going to get put in jail, and it's not going to be me. So I make sure that everything is on the up and up from a legal
standpoint. Can't have
standpoint.
a Hummel in jail.
You can't have Michele in jail.
It'd be all right with the others.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Jeez. So if somebody, a municipality or a nonprofit, is interested in getting hold of you, what do they do?
Okay. Our cell phone number or our office number is 315-864-009. My cell phone number, most of the county has it anyway, 315-717-4998. And of course, you can find us on herkimercountynext.org. You can also register for our nonprofit symposium on a link there as well. So,
awesome. Well, appreciate your time today.
I'm happy to be here.
All right.
Anytime.
We'll see you the next time.
Great.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.